ठीक है. This is a very good question from 300 creative physics problems with solutions. The book is by Laszlo Holix. This is the question number 90. Correct. So a 2-meter long rod of negligible mass is free to rotate about its center. An object of mass 3 kg is threaded into the rod at a distance of 50 cm from its end in such a way that the object can move on the rod without friction. So this is your rod, length 2 meter, hinged from the center. The rod is massless and there's this mass of 3 kg. Okay, it can slide on the rod. Okay, the rod is massless, but the ring on the rod can slide, and the ring on the rod is having mass 3 kg. Okay, so the rod is then released from its horizontal position. This is the position shown, and the rod is released from this position. Find the speed of the rod's end in the rod's vertical position. Use g equal to 10 meter per square second. Okay, so how to do this? Now, so let me tell you one thing. This question is actually very easy if you know a certain concept. Okay, if you try to solve this using conventional mathematics, creating force equations, acceleration equations, energy equations, this question is very difficult to solve. Too many lengthy equations, and then that too, those equations are differential equations of second order, and they are very difficult equations, so you cannot really solve this using mathematics. Okay, it's very difficult. So you need to think about a concept, you need to think about a trick, and I would suggest that you try to think about this question for a day at least, and then again come back to this video for the solution. Okay, but yes, this question is only for the students who are very much brilliant in physics, whose concepts are extremely clear. Okay, if your concepts are not clear, then this question is totally not for you. Okay, so let's continue with the solution. So see, the first doubt that we have is that we don't know whether the sleeve, the ring of mass 3 kg will stay on the rod by the time the rod becomes vertical, or will it slip out of the rod before the rod becomes vertical. We don't really know that, right? So let's just take a general intermediate situation. Okay, so this is the position of the rod and the block at some time t. Okay, and let's say this angle over here is theta, correct, and the block is at a distance of r from the center of the hinge. Okay, now in this position, let's draw the forces acting on the block and the rod. So we have got mg acting downwards on the block. This is your force mg, correct? Then the rod and the ring, they will apply normal force on each other. So let's assume that the normal force on the rod is acting in this direction, and in reaction the normal force on the block will be acting in this direction. We are just assuming. Okay, the direction may be opposite also, we don't know yet. So let's say the normal force is like this, correct? Now instead of looking at the equations for the block, let's try to make an equation for the massless rod. Okay, so this distance is how much? This distance is r. So when I write the torque equation for the rod, so torque for the rod will be how much? Normal force multiplied by r, correct? The normal force and r both are perpendicular to each other, so we get directly n multiplied by r. And this torque should be equal to moment of inertia of the rod about the hinge multiplied by its angular acceleration. Okay, now here comes the interesting part. So nr is equal to, what is the moment of inertia of the rod about the hinge? So the hinge is exactly at the center, so the moment of inertia of the rod should be ml square by 12. But what is the value of mass of the rod? The mass of the rod is 0, and that's why moment of inertia of the rod will be 0, correct? And since r in this case cannot be 0, so we can directly write n will be equal to 0. Since normal force is 0, so in this FBD, now what is happening? We can remove this normal force because it's not really acting on the block. So the only force on the block is mg, and since the only force acting on the block is mg vertically downwards, it will just fall down vertically. Okay, it will just follow vertical path without any horizontal motion. Talking about the rod, see, if you take this rod, if I am applying a force over here, the rod is having a finite acceleration, correct? The rod is having a finite acceleration because it is having some mass, it is having inertia. But in this case, the mass is 0, correct? So if I apply force on a rod of zero mass, it will get infinite acceleration or infinite angular acceleration, which is not possible. The acceleration or angular acceleration should be finite. So in this case we simply learn that the normal force on the rod should become 0. Okay, either if I is 0, okay, then either torque should be 0 or normal force should be 0 or alpha should be infinity. So 0 into alpha infinity could give you a proper value of normal force, but alpha infinity is not possible, and that's why we just have only one option to make the normal force 0. That's what we got over here. So the mass will simply follow vertical path. Okay, so this mass will simply follow vertical path, correct? And it will be in contact with the rod until it reaches the end of the rod. So let's just assume that the rod loses contact with the mass at some angle theta. Okay, so this is your rod, all right. Okay, and this length of the rod will be half of the length. Half of the length of the rod will be 1 meter because total length is 2 meter. So half length is 1 meter. Okay, and you're talking about the mass will simply follow vertical path until it reaches the end of the rod. So the mass has now reached the end of the rod, correct? So this initial horizontal distance was how much? 0.5 meter, correct? So talking about this triangle, okay, if I want to find this angle theta, so I have got cos theta is equals to 0.5 divided by 1. So this is this will give me that theta will be equal to 60 degree. Cos theta will be 1 by 2, so theta will be 60 degrees. So at angle of 60 degree, the mass will lose contact with the rod. Okay, now in this position, let's say the velocity of the mass is v. Okay, so what is the value of v right now? Let's first find out. So for that we need how much height did the mass fall down. So the height, this is the height fallen by the mass. So the height fallen by the mass, h. So h will be how much? 1 sine theta, theta is 60 degrees, so h will be equal to root 3 divided by 2. Okay, so we found the height h, so we can find the value of v. So applying energy conservation, mv square by 2 equal to mgh, or v will be under root 2gh, correct? So h is equal to root 3 by 2, so this is equal to 10 root 3. Keep taking g equal to 10. Okay, so we found the velocity. Now we want to know the angular speed of the rod in this situation, omega. Okay, so for that we will take component of velocity perpendicular to rod. So we take component of velocity perpendicular to rod. This is the component. Okay, and this component will be v cos theta. You can apply the geometry and this angle will be theta. So v cos theta should be equal to 1 meter into omega. Radius is 1 meter into omega. So we can write down directly v cos theta is equals to 1 meter times omega, or v is how much? 10 root 3, root of 10 root 3, and cos theta means 1 to 1 by 2. This is equal to omega. We found the omega of the rod. So the speed of the end of the rod will be how much? Will be equal to same. Speed of the end of the rod will now be constant, because once the sleeve loses contact with the rod, then the rod will rotate with constant omega, assuming that. So speed of the end of the rod will be 1 times omega. So again we obtain the same value, under root 10 root 3 into 1 by 2. Okay, so you could write this down as, in a more simpler format, root of 5 root 3 by 2. This is the velocity or the speed of the end of the rod after the sleeve has lost contact. So the speed will remain constant. So even when the rod becomes vertical, you will have the same answer. Okay.